Well, how about that? Very nice.
Well, ain't that something?
Ain't that something? It's the Pick and Flip podcast, dude, with Knox, Creed, and Jasper.
Hey,
got the names going and everything. It's exciting to have shows added on to the Creedence and Bishop Show radio network.
I agree.
That is what's developing,
and something that we do every single day. And well, I do anyways. Part-time for you and somewhat part-time for Jasper as well, but still do a lot of it.
So we're going to try and dig into a niche audience, because we often do talk about here and there things that we sell on the show, and people have kind of gathered at this point. But, you know, the e-commerce business as a whole, I think, is something that is often overlooked by people as to how important it really is.
Also, a lot of people are very intimidated by it as well.
Yes.
You know, not just online sales, but, you know, of course, with Facebook Marketplace being the way that it is now, it can be very intimidating. As a matter of fact, I would never touch Amazon sales, but Jasper has jumped into that a little bit here and there. That's something
very, very little.
Yeah, it's just something that I don't know. It just doesn't interest me. But eBay, Bonanza, Facebook Marketplace, all fine with me. Knox, basically, you sell on eBay. Do you ever put up anything that you get locally on Marketplace? Do you ever put it up?
I've sold two things off of Marketplace. If I am using Marketplace, it's because I don't want to deal with shipping it. So I'll do local pickup on something. And what used to be the downside of that, and things have changed a lot in the last 36 months, I would say, is that I would cringe with thinking about Marketplace on Facebook, because it wasn't the most consistently completed sale with people that reach out to buy something on Facebook Marketplace versus eBay, where once they bid, they're locked in. But on Marketplace, you get a message from 10,000 people. Is this available? Is this available?
Yeah.
Is this available?
Where
is
are
this
you
available? Where are you located?
Will you take $1?
So, but now, I have had a couple of things that I've successfully sold, but I buy a lot off of it. I buy a ton off Facebook Marketplace. That's where I get most of my supply. Between that, estate sales, and live auction, Facebook Marketplace has actually been a really cool.
Well, you're
stream
also
of stuff.
You're also in an area that is much different than where we are. The amount of I don't know what you call them, antiques, vintage stuff, older things are readily available. You walk into a Salvation Army or any thrift store, upstate New York area, all the way through that area, you find a lot of different stuff than you do here in the South. Very different, I find, anyways.
Plus, socioeconomically too, if it's a more poverty-stricken area, the stuff that you see get resold isn't the best. But if you go into the Northeast, per se, like Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, the items that people bought to begin with were of more value, more quality, and then when they get resold, they maintain the value more. So you're not just getting generic Walmart stuff.
All right. Well, let me ask you this, Jasper. Do you believe that in poverty-stricken areas that because I have heard that they do send typically some better stuff to more poorer areas. Do you ever notice that when you're out thrifting?
I have found some of my best things in the sketchiest of neighborhoods, so especially like up in Columbia.
Yeah,
some real scary looking stores, and find some good stuff.
Good point.
The best shops are the ones that I found that have had the best payout have been the ones that smelled the worst when I walked in.
That's a good point.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you can smell if it smells like old rotten clothing and musty stuff and mold, you're in good shape to find something.
Whenever you walk into a really, really bad place, it's one or the other. You're going to find some really good gems, or it is all just disgusting trash that you never want to bring home. One or the other. Listen, before we get talking too much, let's talk about a little bit what our thoughts are as far as what we're going to do on the show as we continue forward, since this is our first episode, and give you kind of an idea of what to expect, I guess. Hopefully we'll be able to do this weekly if all of our schedules makes sense. But I think one of the biggest things I wanted to point out would be, what we did on the Creedence and Bishop show with you, Knox, with some of your finds and go through those. And it is kind of cool to start, to see what you get. I'm sure you don't want to divulge on every single thing, what you paid for it, and what you got, but I'm sure there are a few things here and there that all of us can, and I would like to do that too. But here's the thing. I don't sell any, I've got a couple of cool things that I found in the last few months at the thrift store. So it'd be cool to share those and see, but further past that, I mean, we'll have discussions about some, here's a good one too, is some of the crazy people that we run into on eBay. I would love to share some of those stories, as I always do with Jasper. Him and I are like daily back and forth about, other than normal stuff, but a lot of selling stuff and a lot of idiots out there. And so it's kind of fun.
Quick question to show how seasoned we are here. And this is going to put me as majorly green behind the ears. But I just crossed the 100 item threshold that I've sold or bought on eBay.
Yeah.
And I've had an account since 2014. No, 2010. 2010 I've had the account since. So 10 years, 100 items. But what is now? I know, Creed, you've had a couple of different accounts on eBay, but what is your current account up to right now? How many sales have you completed on there?
Oh, I have no idea, actually. I don't even know where the hell I'd look for that. Jasper,
under my eBay.
Where do I?
In my eBay somewhere. I'm looking for mine now.
Well, I can fire up the computer. I wasn't ready.
I've had a couple of different accounts as well.
I'll fire up this computer and find it. I don't know.
For those who are getting, their first listen into this podcast and have thought about getting into reselling and that kind of stuff, Creed has always been my crutch to lean on if I had any kind of questions along the way to help navigate different stuff, because you've been doing it since back in the beginning, that all the old school eBayers talk about.
When we left when we left Rock 105, I kind of fell into it again, and then since then, been making a living on my own selling. Although I did take a break for a while on eBay, quite a few years. As a matter of fact, because again, I buy liquidation and returns pallets, and which is a little bit different than what you do, Knox. But I used to sell all of my eBay stuff right to Jasper. As a matter of fact, and what's so fun about him and I being friends is, yeah, exactly. What's so funny is, and he, I felt like an asshole, but it would happen from time to time. Some of these pet pallets that I would buy, especially, that I would be basically selling him a small box or two for exactly what I paid for the pallet that has hundreds of items in it. And he was happy as can be because he was making money too. So
I was about to ask that. I'm like, so you, as the businessman that you are, left Jasper enough margin to make it worth buying the stuff from you to begin with, which is
those pet pallets. Those pet pallets were just fantastic. I was more than happy to give him what he paid for the pallet. I turned around and turned that into $1,500, $2,000.
Yeah, on just like bark collars, then the other collars for the underground fences and the underground, just stupid stuff like that. And they used to be plentiful. And there was quite a few years I didn't see any pet stuff. Just a couple of weeks ago, grabbed 2 of them, and they were even better than before because I got an iPhone out of it.
So Creed's in the pallet. Pallets are his mainstream of ammunition, basically, for all of his inventory. Jasper, is that? I mean, how do you? I don't know. What do you sell? And smelly items, absolutely. What do you? How do you get a hold of your stuff? And what do you? What do you specialize in? What's your deal?
I dabble in a little bit of everything. I've done the pallet and liquidation stuff a little bit here and there. Most of mine's from thrift stores now. Sometimes yard sales and flea market. Specialize on anything I can really turn a profit on. As many people say.
Doesn't matter what it is.
No, I mean, I sold some Gone with the Wind DVDs a few weeks ago when they took that off HBO. I made some good money on those.
No kidding.
I sold face masks at the beginning of the whole Corona thing.
Oh, way in the beginning, though. That was when it was just a China thing. Like, he didn't even think anything about it, coming here, and he was getting them from flea market. Hey, do you mind divulging where you got the Gone with the Wind DVDs from?
That was from the 374 bin at Walmart. Yeah. And then I sold the first one for 40, and then every one after that I sold for 35.
Yeah.
Because of cancel culture?
What's
the big?
They took it off of HBO, and then it just started selling like crazy.
Yeah. Had it been always on HBO?
I guess.
That's crazy. The original Gone with the Wind, like the original one, the old movie.
Yep.
Huh.
Actually, I bought all the regular DVDs for $374. There was like 10 of them, but I left the Blu-rays because they were $750. And then the next day, I was like, "Oh, these are selling good. I'm gonna go back and get the Blu-rays," and they were gone. It caught on that quick. Everybody went and wiped Walmart out of the Gone with the Wind
real quick.
Yeah. And like the Dukes of Hazzard, their box set that Walmart sells, it sells for like $300 now. And there's only I think 75 in the store.
Jesus.
So walking right into a retail facility like Walmart, picking up something out of their clearance bin and turning what's
hefty.
The percent? Is that a 500% return, 1,000% return? What if you got it for $374? You sold it for 40?
Yeah.
What is that? 1,000% return?
35. Yeah. Pretty high.
That's a lot.
You don't mess with media mail, do you? You just do first class on that stuff.
Yeah, most of the time. I had some books today I shipped media mail because they're a little heavier.
There was another thing I was going to say. Another great be on the lookout, a bolo that Jasper sent me over the other day was Arizona green. Was it green tea mix packets? Was it?
Yeah, that you put in the water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember how much they were selling for. I think it was
I'm going to pull it up, but it'll take me a second.
Pull it up, Creed. I can't remember, but they were selling it at Dollar Tree. And people were getting like $25 for 6 packs, I believe.
And they're just the little sticks, right?
Yeah.
I think. Let me see. I'm finding it now.
Do they even taste that good?
I don't know. I haven't been able to find any yet.
Have they been discontinued? Is that why everyone wants them?
That's what I'm assuming. I haven't really looked into it too much, but usually when something jumps up like that, it's been discontinued or pulled for a packaging change or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talk way too much on here. Lots of lottery tickets and
ain't that something? Yeah, the Facebook Marketplace recently has been the provider of a lot of my best, more recent profits. However, the free tab on Craigslist and on Facebook Marketplace also has been really good.
Is there really anything on? Is Craigslist isn't dead completely?
It's got a faint heartbeat.
Just
for those who refuse to let go of it.
Yeah.
But I got 2 brand new, they were office used clean Brother typewriters. They're relatively new.
There's the solds on that. It was 12 boxes, $80 free shipping, 9 boxes, $79.84 free shipping, 12 boxes.
Would have been $1 a box.
Wow. Yeah, so $12 investment plus tax. And,
that's a good flip.
Yeah, but although I do see, that was semi-recent. That was in 6/13. I was going to say, you really got to watch out on the solds right now on eBay because, there was an inflated price time between mid-March all the way up until not long ago, for everything that I'm looking up anyways, especially the health and beauty aids. Jesus. So I got to every single time I got to sort that, out to see what the real price is now, but anyways, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. There was a doctor's office that had gone out of business. I was able to go down. I actually talked the person into holding the items for it. So not only was it free, and they always say no holes, I got the person to hold it for me, and I gave them a coffee when I arrived. I said, "What kind of coffee do you drink?" So I got them a coffee on the way down, and they were happy to oblige.
Did it the right way. Jesus.
2 typewriters, no investment except for the $1.79 coffee, and they go for $100 a pop. So those were,
Nice.
That's a good deal.
They're on my death
nightmare,
pile.
Nightmare to ship, but they're
not that bad.
I don't know.
I'll grab one of them and show it to you. Hold on a minute. Talk amongst yourselves.
Nah, we'll just watch you go get your grilled chicken. He's in his eBay.
I was telling Knox earlier. You remember that Bloody Mary Mary I had last year?
Yeah.
I finally sold it today. That was a nightmare to pack.
Yeah. Was it very big, or was it just?
Oh yeah, it was huge.
What'd you get out of it?
I took a $200 offer on that.
Well, I'd say that's a pretty decent return.
Yeah.
You see how clean it is?
Yeah, it looks like it's in really good shape.
These are.
This
is the brother.
There's definitely still a market for typewriters. Yeah.
So the model number on that is model number is the ML100.
And that was a freebie?
That was completely free. Coffee, $1.79.
Yeah,
I got 2 of them. They had 2.
What do you think you're gonna get out of that?
Well, the question is, do I list them each individually, or do I do them as a lot and just get rid of them so I can ship them easier? I'm not really sure which way to go on it, but I mean, I could do 1 for $100 with free shipping. And I would imagine the shipping on this. Oh, you know what though? On that same ride, while I'm talking about the free stuff on this, so it was a doctor's office with this 82-year-old doctor that retired finally.
Yeah.
So it had like the wood panel, all that kind of stuff. Well,
Kinda
outside,
like behind Jasper right now, that nice wood paneling.
Exactly. So he turned his garage. He had a detached garage that he attached and turned it into an office. So it still looked like garage doors on the front and everything. So at his house,
Nice.
They had just cleaned out his house, and you're gonna love this. Got this out of the garbage.
Oh,
at
is
the
that
house.
for
It's a fraternity paddle. Yeah.
beating some ass? Wow.
Look at the
Smell it?
handle on it.
Give it a smell test.
I didn't give it a smell test. It wasn't. I don't think it smells though. But I mean, look at the.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
To
answer your question, Bishop, media mail is an option that is very, very, very slow, and they're very strict about. And it's any books? Do video games fall under that? CDs?
No video games. Nothing with advertisement.
Okay. Oh, so no magazines either.
Yeah, books and DVDs and VHS stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's very slow. It's kind of a crappy option, but isn't it typically real slow though? I mean, it's like, yeah.
That's why I normally choose first class instead.
Yeah, it's worth it. Knox, what do you think you're going to get out of that paddle?
I think $45 all day, if not more.
That's pretty neat.
I think so.
Did you just
out of the garbage?
Did you just steal it out of his garbage and not even ask about it? Or
I didn't even. I just took it and ran, man. I really didn't care.
Circling back to what we were talking about a bit ago about our as far as our accounts go, how do I find out like total sales on mine? You said go to my eBay. I'm on there,
and then click on sold, or just on your name. Click on your name, and it'll go.
Well, that's
right
just
to
feedback.
Your,
that has nothing to do with feedback. Has nothing to do with.
But next
sales.
year, there should be a number next to your account name or your eBay ID.
That's feedback. That has nothing to do with your sales, though, is what I'm saying. I mean, I've got 1,900 feedback. I mean, but that has no bearing.
Oh, really?
Sales wise, well, sure.
So I did. That wasn't my 100. That was my 100th feedback, not my 100th sale.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean, nowadays, feedback is not what it used to be on eBay. I mean, feedback is, well, Jess, what do you think? 30% or less that really do leave?
Yeah, probably. That's probably pretty accurate. Like I've had this account since 2007. I've got 2,615.
If I go to orders, won't it tell me? It used to say like the number. It used to say like the sales number, but I think they've changed that now.
Wouldn't that only be for like 90 days though?
Well, yeah, I don't know how to.
I can't believe.
Yeah, because not everybody leaves feedback. Feedback is not a huge deal anymore for people. It seems.
But like, why wouldn't they give you your running tally of how many items
they do? I guarantee it's on there. But this technology company that is eBay, which I laugh about.
Switch to classic view. Going back to that.
There's somewhere where you can see lifetime sales too.
I figured as much. I have no idea where.
But I can't remember where.
What's Coda barking at?
I don't know. Emily might actually be home. She's been gone all week. Give me a second.
You're gonna quarantine her ass? You should be. Emily's been in Myrtle Beach on vacation.
Yeah.
Like, Creed, you're gonna put her in isolation, right? You're not just gonna be breathing her air.
Her coming back from Myrtle Beach, the number one hot spot in America.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Quarantine away from her for 2 weeks? What are you, nuts?
COVID would love to get in your lungs.
We got work to do. Well, we'll have to check that. I don't know about total sales. It would be interesting to see. I mean, I know.
Well, I have my 100. I'm up to 102 reviews now. So
that's good. Oh, you call it? That's adorable. You call it reviews like my mom and dad do. It's feedback. But yeah, that's cool. We got a good review. They say.
See, there you go. Once again. I have 100% positive.
Yeah, that's good. So. We've had discussions with this. I've discussed this with Jasper numerous times. It's better not to have 100% because then you just, if you're just under 100%, it's just much better because you're just waiting for that zero feedback buyer to give you your first negative.
I actually just dropped to 99.5 because remember Creed a couple weeks back, that lady said she refused to pay with PayPal. And I just never responded to her, and I opened an unpaid item case, and she somehow left me negative feedback, even though she never actually paid for the item. And then
that's crazy.
I checked on it, and it disappeared, but now it's back up there. So I got to contact eBay for business or whatever.
Well,
and get
that good for that. Good luck with that. I'm 99.6 for me. Which honestly, I mean, I know it seems stupid, but seriously, when I'm at 100%, it's like you just know it's coming. So it's just one of those things. It's just so much better just to be just under. To me, that's how I am. I'll share a good one from today. So I got a email today of course. Now, first of all, this buyer waited forever to pay. I want to say it was at least 3 or 4 days. No big deal. I don't really care. I barely even keep track of that. But I know I did have to resend the invoice, and I know they beat me up on price a bit. But anyways, so these are watches that are I just kind of randomly get with the health and beauty aids that I buy. And every once in a while, I'll get one that's like out of the package or cracked or something. But I'm telling you, 99% of these are absolutely perfect, a little dusty, all in the, still in their plastic display case, whatever. And of course, 14 feedback. I swear to God, the only people that I really have problems with ever, or that I always ever doubt what they are saying is always 15 and below, usually 10 and below, and usually at 0. But they send a thing, the talking watch doesn't work. That's all it says. So it was 3. It was 3. And by the way, and this is another thing, and this is just me, I guess other people are much, much different. But for me, if I bought something and it was wrong, I would take longer than 2.5 seconds to write an email and be like, hey, thank you so much for that fast shipping, by the way, even though I waited, 3 effing days to pay you. I appreciate you getting that out, within an hour of payment.
Yeah.
And shipped very quickly. But hey, one of them are no good. So anyways, I do put in the listing. The batteries are included, but these are shelf pulls. They've probably been on a Rite Aid shelf for Lord knows how long. So there is a chance you might need to buy a battery. Watch batteries are very cheap. Not a big deal. So anyway, so it's in the listing. So again, nice.
Can you pull up the original listing for us? We can see this.
I
have it there?
I could, but I don't really have time.
I just want to see the watch.
Well, I can pull up the picture. It's just
Talking
3
watch.
watches. Just 3 watches. Can you see? Nah, you're not gonna be able to. Well,
Get it up closer.
Well, then it
Get it right up
whites
there.
out really bad. It's so hard to see, but
So one of them was
Kinda
like a wannabe smartwatch on the left there.
no, but it's a cool old school. It's an old school watch. It's kind of neat. Hang
Were
on,
they
just a second.
Casios? What were they? Are they Timex?
No, they're lifestyle timepieces. It's a very, very, very big company, which is the AccuTime Watch Corp, I think, falls under that umbrella. Hang on, I can pull them up since you asked. But me, if I ever have a problem, I wouldn't just send the watch doesn't work. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just how I would deal with things. But most of these people, that's
You would type in complete sentences and make your case
At the
like
very
a normal human
least.
being, rather than just.
at the very least, I would at least do that.
So out of the 3 watches, one of them allegedly talked.
Well, it does. It's a talking watch.
you
You'll
sent.
see it. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. I'm working on the new Facebook interface here, and I can't quite breeze through it as quick as used to be able to.
While he's doing that, Jasper, what do you do? What do you do as far as storage of all your stuff, and how much stuff do you keep on hand at one time? Like, what do you?
Great question.
It just goes wherever I can fit it. I work full time, so I end up shopping a lot more than actually sit down and put stuff on eBay. So I get a backlog. So like right now, my dining room table is piled to the ceiling. My garage, you can't walk. I got a storage unit full of stuff you can barely get into.
Well, it goes a little deeper than that. He's got stuff in one of my hoarding,
2 of them.
and 2 of them, by the way. He's got stuff there, and almost let's see, half of my shed out back is filled up with your dad's tools, Knox, and the other half is broken remote control cars for Jasper to come and get.
Did he buy
delivered.
would you buy a box lot of those or something?
They were a bunch of after Christmas returns, and they're absolutely terrible. And we're talking some really nice ones too. They're very nice. They're just everything. They're a nightmare. They're a mess. Every time I see them, I but it doesn't matter because everyone that comes with, look up are they New Tracks? What do they call? What's that name brand that are the green New Tracks or New Bright,
Yeah.
something or other.
You can sell just the bodies off of them.
Oh, and not just that. I mean, if you really want to be lazy, trash the entire car and the remote and everything and just sell the charger and the battery alone is more. You can get more from just the battery and charger out of those on eBay. You can get more out of that than you can just selling the entire remote control car normally. Believe it or not.
And these are all old stock from the holidays. These are all from this year's Christmas rush.
That you see Christmas returns almost all year, typically. Sorry. Anyways, didn't want to cut you off, but that's
that's all right. So you got stuff everywhere.
Yeah, actually, I even I almost forgot I have a broken down Ford Explorer in my driveway that's got stuff in it too.
Now, do you live with anybody? Got a girlfriend there or anything, or a wife?
Wife, yeah.
What does she think of?
He's advanced past our status. He's married, got the wife, bought a house. One of them kind of people.
But the wife is cool with you loading the house with shit from floor to ceiling?
I wouldn't say she's cool with it, but she tolerates it. She doesn't give me too hard of a time.
Because she probably likes the money that's coming out of it.
Well, that's a good point. Oh, not the wrong one. All right, I got the watches coming up. That only took 20 minutes.
Doing
these
great.
watches are nice that I get. They're nothing special. I mean, they're $20 watch, but like you can see the one on the side is the talking watch, which really does talk to you, which is kind of cool. It's kind of old school.
Talking watch don't work though, Creed.
Yeah. So here's the thing with me. Every single day I get worse and worse with my communicating when I get messages like that. So Then I said, hello, as listed in the description, batteries are included, but may need to be replaced. These are all shelf pulls, most from fresh cases, so it's highly unlikely that it doesn't work and only needs a new battery. So, of course, this is where, and this is, I'm going to ask both of you to see, just for fun, how do you deal with this one, right? Because I wish I had a BS alert, because, you know, red flag goes off as soon as he says this. I took it to a jewelry store, and he informed me. Seriously, so you pay I think about $36 for three free shipping. I think you beat me up a little bit on price, but anyways, you pay about $10 a watch, and you're gonna take it to a jeweler just to see. So I said, well, that's crazy. Literally, we've sold a couple hundred of these, never had an issue. They are shelf pull merchandise. You know, I apologize for that. We'll take a look and see if I have a replacement for you and let you know soon. Then writes back a weird one that just says, I can give you his phone number and you can inform him. What are we trying to get to there? Any ideas? It makes no sense. What do you want me to inform the jeweler about? That he's an idiot? Or how about I inform you that you've never taken it to the jeweler? So I almost want to be like real nice and say, hey, so if you would like, why don't you show me a receipt of some sort, and I'll just ship it to you free, and you can keep that one and have a replacement. Or if you don't have a receipt, then send that one back, and then I'll send it to you. See, that's where I'm at now, because these people are nuts.
That was a good way to handle it.
I think so. That's how I want to handle it. I haven't yet. That was all just this afternoon.
This is not a hill worth dying on for you, because this is just one out of a gajillion items that you are pushing.
Well, sure.
So, I mean,
it's not a big deal, and I'd be happy to replace it. It's highly unlikely, as I said, and that's not BS. They're all brand new. I mean, they really are. They're pulled off a shelf at a Rite Aid.
What about just refunding his money and moving on?
Used to do that a lot.
Because that's how I've stayed out of hot water with eBay a couple of times.
But there's not. But here's the thing, is that the amount of people that get away with stuff. I'm talking, if I don't have 2 or 3, when I'm selling at a high volume. Lately, I have not, because of how crazy it was. I got blindsided by the virus coming. Right, I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I, of course, didn't know. I was not a psychic like John Crawley, who we're going to have on tonight at 8:30, by the way, live across the network. So make sure to check that out tonight if you're watching live. But I'm not a psychic, and I didn't realize that the stores are going to run out of everything, you know. And I mean, we're selling. That was crazy, and we'll discuss that at some point. No reason to now, but what was my point of telling you that? Oh, when I'm actively listing every single day and buying pallets every single week, just specifically for the eBay business, you know, I damn near at least 2 a week that I send over to Jasper. Like, what do you think about this one? They trying to F me, you know? I mean, sometimes even more. I mean, it is that, you know, we talk about cancel culture or different cultures. Well, let me tell you, trying to F over seller culture is huge and has been, and it is a giant growing problem that seems to be never ending on eBay from all sides. But there are also morons that come off that way that aren't really trying to F you. And I'll tell you one funny thing. No, Knox, like you said, how you, communicate with me with your questions and things that you have about eBay. Yeah. I am constant with bouncing them off of Jasper. As far as and I love it, because, you know, every once in a while he's like, yeah, I mean, I was pretty a-hole-ish, but I'd still let that one slide. I'd still do it. And then there's a lot of times where he's like, it's not worth it. Don't do it.
Yeah, me, it's all about how they come at me.
How many different times have you, like, go ahead.
It's all about, with me, how they come at me. You know, if they, like, if I can tell they're trying to BS me or just trying to get a refund, then I'm going to make them return it, you know. But if I feel like they're being, you know, legit and they're actually legitimate, it was a problem, then a lot of times I'll do like you said and just refund and move on.
I did a lot of that in the beginning when I started selling again, you know, but it gets to a point where one person knows that you do that, they can make as many accounts as they want and as many names as they want and buy as much stuff as they want with different, and once they know that you're easy like that and you're not, potentially, if they were good at it, very easy that you could take advantage of that, I mean, it wouldn't take much.
Mm-hmm. How many? So speaking of different accounts, we touched on it earlier. How many different accounts have you had, selling accounts or store? Or actually, I'll back it up. How did you know when it was time to go from a regular account to a store account? And what did you have more of? Was it like multiple store accounts, or was it multiple? Well, I don't have individual seller accounts.
I don't have multiple. I just have an old one, an old account that I had. Trial and error, we'll say. Things were very different back then, and we're talking a lot of years ago. And we'll just say that it's a trial and error learning curve on that. I know that's all I have. We have one set up for Emily, which I'm going to start selling some of the stuff. A couple of things I got to show here in a little bit that is going to be under Emily's name. Because I want it separate from this one. But other than that, I just have a Bonanza account, which we'll talk about at some point. That's a kind of an interesting discussion to have. Jasper,
what does that mean, a Bonanza account? Like
Bonanza is a selling platform.
This is news to me.
Like eBay. Well, don't worry about it. You don't need to know about it because it ain't going to do you no good. I don't think anyways. We'll talk about Bonanza at some point. It's an interesting story. As far as that, but that's all you got, right, Jasper? You got one eBay? Is that all you got?
Yeah, I had two previously that I didn't have a store in. I just started a store with this one. Two previously, I had issues. One where I was selling some Superman watches that weren't really made by Warner Brothers or whatever. I got shut down for that. And then another one, I was using a drop shipper. I sold a whole bunch of PlayStations. And then the drop shipper informed me that they didn't have any in stock.
And that was
refund all that money.
That was a long time ago, though, right?
That was a long, long time ago.
How much money did you, or how many PlayStations did you sell?
I was selling like 4 or 5 a day, and then none of them were getting shipped. And I didn't know until I started getting messages from the buyers talking about, I haven't gotten my PlayStation. So I refunded the money. That's no problem. But I was still left with thousands of dollars in eBay fees that I never paid.
Ooh.
Whoops.
Did they come after you for them?
No, that account just closed down.
Just went away.
Most of the trouble I got into was I sold a starter pistol by mistake, and they really got upset over that. They were and the thing was, the guy made me an offer and asked me a question about it, and I answered it. And then the second they didn't shut me down until the transaction happened. When the guy paid me is when eBay swooped in and shut the whole thing down, sent me a slap on the wrist, and
it can be any time.
Weeks later.
Yeah, it can be after the sale, even after you send it. Again, story for another time, but right around Black Friday time this year, I had a bit of an issue with eBay. And with them taking down things that they shouldn't be taking down, which again just had another snafu with that, and a Vero thing from Polaroid. Long story short on that one, before I go off on that, there are we'll say a lot of people in different groups around the interweb that will agree with me on this one. Is that now I do what they call GSP. Do you know what that is, Knox? Have you done any of that? The global shipping program through eBay. I've had lots of conversations. I know that Jasper hates that I do it, but it's a lot easier for me not to fill out all the customs forms and everything. They take care of it. So if you sell something on the global shipping program, it gets shipped to Kentucky, and once it gets there and it's clear, you're good to go. Right? They take care of everything past that. And they overcharge the crap out of everything to pay all the duty fees and tariffs or whatever it is, all the custom stuff. eBay actually takes care of it, which is nice. But you know what? There's a lot of restricted items in other countries that they offer it out to, and there really isn't any information for them to tell you about that. Well, apparently, You can't send Fuji Instax. What is that called? The the Intax, whatever that's called. They're the small, real small ones that are pretty popular these days that I can't ever get to come out. Yeah,
Instapix.
I don't something. Anyways, and I know that I've known that for a long time. That and white strips is another one you got to not put, as global shipping program. But when they renew, it automatically adds it, and can't prove it, but I've seen it happen before, and I know it does. And so, Vero, the, copyright thing, and, you get your little slap on the wrist from them, and it pisses me off. It's ridiculous because you have no idea with the Vero stuff. That's like, Knox, do you know about Velcro or onesie or any of those words that are like huge no-nos? And they won't even
know.
They just don't. eBay has never spent any time. I swear to God, they spend no time to trying to educate you at all. You're supposed to know all this.
But what are you selling? What are you personally selling Velcro things and baby clothing?
No, but I've come across. But I have a lot of different baby clothes in time, especially around holiday season. I have a ton of onesies that are Halloween themed, and I've had a lot of Velcro stuff. So you got to do the hook and loop or whatever you got to say. But anyways, it's really crappy because they don't tell you. They really, and they don't really educate you. They just throw you to the wolves, and then they slap you on the wrist, and they will restrict you, suspend you, do things for. Yeah, I have no idea. Just like the Superman thing, how the hell do you really know? How can you track that down? But no, it's just really.
To be fair, they were cheap Chinese watches. All it did was had a Superman S, and I didn't call it a Superman watch. I said S design. But.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes it's us, the seller, being a little bit shady or a little.
Yeah.
It happens.
So what do you got that you were going to show to us that you're going to put on Emily's new account where you're pretending to be Emily?
I'm not. No. This is going to be part of hers. I just don't want it on my account. Any older stuff. I'm really weird about this. Jasper knows this. Whenever I was out selling at a flea market, I can't have any used stuff and. It just annoys the crap out of me. Like people that use plastic tubs that go out to sell at a flea market. It just annoys me. I'm weird.
Like that. Couldn't stand to see somebody selling store returns like him, but then also have a yard sale table.
Yeah. Oh, that was
in the same place. That would be that sounds like OCD to me.
Oh, it is. It is 100%. But it also,
I think I may have set up beside you one time like that. I had some returns and some yard sale junk.
And did he walk over and start chirping you?
Oh, yeah.
No. I'm not that bad about it.
I'd believe it. Yeah, even Jasper's saying,
Yeah.
Ooh, who's that?
New phone, who dis? Yeah, new show talking about selling. Because we sell stuff. Bishop is patiently awaiting our show tonight at 8:30, by the way. Hey, 2 plugs tonight for our interview tonight. This Jasper dude is a friend of mine that also sells online. So, Mikey said, we were on earlier testing out his audio. Jasper's my brother, which he is not. Although at the flea market, though, he was always referred to as my brother, or I was referred to. Where's your brother at? Where's he at? Where's your brother at? And as
I still Jasper get that sometimes when I'm walking around. The Mexicans will ask me, "Where's your brother? Where's your brother?"
Or they would think I was you, or you, vice versa, which is always funny. So anyways, and also with this Facebook Marketplace stuff that we've been doing so much, we are accumulating a beautiful amount of eBay stuff, which at some point we'll run through and give you an idea. And on that account, it'd be cool to keep an idea of, since it's going to be a brand new account, to see how quickly you can build a brand new account, because there is going to be a lot of restrictions. It's all in her name. It's her account. But I'll tell you what, I got to go open up the door real quick because I think that she's here and we have a lock on our thing that she can't get through. So I'm going to go do that.
You locked her out of your house?
Well, yeah, but not. I just want to avoid an issue before she gets here and everybody goes nuts dog wise.
Got it. What did you want me to do?
I'll go do that real quick. If you want to, are you going to share some of your finds and stuff that we haven't gotten to, like the bikes
sure.
and stuff? You want to? Do you have?
You want to do the bikes tonight? Yeah.
I mean, no. That's up to you. You absolutely don't have to. I've got a few things.
I can go over. I can tell some stories about what I've sold. I'd send out 5 packages today, so I can talk about what I had in there.
That's cool.
That'll work. Yeah, but yeah. So Jasper Creed's talking about my bicycles. Just in the past month or so, sometimes I fall into these weird trends where I'll find a niche and I'll just want to buy more things from that niche. Do you ever get like hyper focused on an item and then want to buy more of that kind of item? So for me, go ahead.
The other week I found a VHS that I sold for like $60. So I was constantly looking for VHS. I wanted VHS.
What was the VHS that you sold for 60?
Return of the Walking Dead. Or Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Walking Dead, one or the other.
Interesting.
Paid 50 cents for it, sold it for 60.
Must have been one of those things that they didn't make a whole lot of copies of.
Yeah, a lot of the
or someone
old,
is just wasting a lot of money.
Yeah, the really cheesy vintage horror movies and stuff from like the 80s. Like the cheesier the better. Those normally do pretty good.
I'll keep an eye out for
those. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I start focusing on that item.
So the bicycles, I found a 1960s Sears Spider. It was like a mid-60s Spider. It was all chrome, and I drove an hour and 20 minutes one way, bought it, brought it home, and now I just got it fixed. It was over at the bike shop. I had 3 bikes that I dropped off. One was a folding bike, a Royce Union folding bike, also another Sears Spider that was a different color, and then that one. So I had those 3 fixed up to resell. And I've got my average into each bike now is about $175, but I'm hoping to sell each one of them for 400 or more. So so that would probably, or close, like 300. If I can even get 3, I'll be happy. But bicycles, I just became obsessed with recently. The Schwinn 1960 Schwinn bikes, which are starting to flood the market now because of those folks that are passing away, really do pretty well, and people pay the shipping on them too. It appears.
How do you ship a bicycle? I've never had to deal with something that large, really.
You ready for this? Because, of course, the first thing that comes to your mind is the box, right? You're like, what kind of a box do you even put a bike into, right? So go to a bike shop, make a handshake deal with the owner, and then be able to go out into his dumpster and take his boxes when there's nobody there. And so that was what I did. So I've actually got a couple of boxes ready to go. And I'll you just unscrew the handlebars so it keeps the slender profile of just the tires in the seat, and they actually ship pretty easily. You have to go UPS with it, but but it's not bad. It's the biggest amount of work, honestly, was going and making the contact with the bike shop owner to get the boxes. That was the hardest part of the whole thing. So when I get them sold, I'll tell you guys all about them when it happens, hopefully. But that was the big thing was the bicycles. But out of the stuff that I sold today, just so you know, my other niches that I deal with are vintage toys, still in the box and not still in the box, as well as trains. I do a lot in HO scale and Lionel trains. So
one time, Jasper would appreciate this, that giant well, first of all, Knox had a whole HO scale layout one time in one of his apartments, but then there was that time we're not too long ago. What was that, an estate sale or something? You bought it just for the Hot Wheels?
My cousin and I bought it just for the Hot Wheels. Yeah. It was a gigantic train layout. The guy worked on it all his life.
Yeah.
Long time. It was probably 30 feet long by another, I don't know, 8 feet. There's like an L-shaped 8-foot L off the end. It was like 30 feet long though. And he used all late 70s, early 80s, and then up into the newer stuff, Hot Wheels and Matchbox. And he took them all out of the packages, obviously, but he used those as the cars in the cities.
Well, Jasper mistakenly got into the Hot Wheels business one time.
I'll never do it again.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Horrible.
I don't know. I mean, you made money.
I ended up by the end, I just had to put them all in a flat rate box, and
that's what I did.
So I've got a pile of stuff in the other room because I've always wanted to make a backup account anyways. And it just grows and grows and grows because I do enjoy going to thrift stores and stuff, but I got to be very, very careful because I don't sell a lot of that. I stick with my health and beauty aids and that stuff really. But I always had the hopes of, just not getting around to it, starting up another account. So I've been hoarding, not a ton of stuff, but enough. But I just realized I just grabbed two things I'm going to keep, which is kind of funny. But one thing that I found not too long ago, and this is kind of cool. It is pretty big. It's from Bass Pro Shops. It's called Extreme Combo Caddy, and you can see it's brand new. It's not your ordinary caddy, but it something that Knox would absolutely love, I'm sure. Here, I'll make it big. Hold on.
Oh, it's a fishing rod caddy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the thing's pretty big.
And it was a Cabela's return? Oh, Bass Pro.
No. It's Bass Pro. And no, this was from the Goodwill because the Goodwill price tags are still on it.
What'd you pay for it?
But $3.99, and of course, I was with my senior citizen mother who got the senior citizen discount. It's kind of funny, but if I'm not mistaken, comps on those are I believe around $40 with free shipping. 40
Easily.
to 50 on that. And I think it's kind of old new stock or something like that. Then I found this one. This is pretty cool. Another one I'm going to save is this. This is a Halloween prop, which is really pretty cool.
Is that a heart on there?
Yes, and it comes with a wood block, and it's a fountain. The blood pumps out of it when it's sitting down like this, and it literally, you lay it out on the table, and the blood actually like comes out of the heart, which is pretty cool. I have no idea what it sells for. It is a really weird name called Night View Creations. It's fairly old, but it's brand new in there, and we're going to use that this year for part of the display rather than sell that. That was all three of these were all bought on the same day from a Goodwill, but this is the best one here. Before I show this, I should have brought up the comps, but I will show you the comps. It doesn't look like much. It's just a bobblehead. And
who is it?
It's Creed from The Office.
Oh, those go for a pretty penny.
You want to take a guess what that's worth?
I'd say between low end 50, high end 75.
Well, you're way off.
Is it more than that?
Yeah, it is. Hang on.
120.
Way off. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. Surprisingly. And that's one of those things that Jasper said in passing once a million years ago to me, that I remembered, that it is worth a pretty penny. And I can't spell. And there it is. Nice to be prepared if we ever prepared on that.
The first show. It's okay.
Yeah. So, okay. The last few have sold for a little less than it used to, but it still is around $199 with the box.
Yours is no box though, right?
2 foot. Yeah. And there's one that just sold on 7/1 for $2. God, I hate how you can't see that, but $249. But anyways, they're worth quite a bit, needless to say. And there's not a lot of them that get listed either. And Jasper, do you remember
where would you price yours?
Nothing, because I'm going to keep them. And it's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't need the money that bad, you know. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe someday, still it might, but it's a pretty cool thing. Jasper, do you remember telling me about that a million years ago, or at least showing me that? Or
Oh yeah, I think I sent you a picture. I found one in Goodwill.
yeah,
It wasn't the same character, but it was a different character from The Office. That sold.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much I got for it, but I'm pretty sure it was over 100.
No, Nick. Mom and dad are both doing. Since they're retired, they're both doing eBay now, and she's got a awesome taste for stuff that she lists. She's extremely meticulous about stuff. Jasper and I kind of fly by the seat of our pants on some stuff, right? You know, and it's kind of funny. You know, she's constantly watching followers, constantly, worried about a lot where she's another one that, it hasn't sold in 60 days. I'm pulling it off. It's done. Or I'll leave it for years.
Isn't it? I did the same thing. Like, I mean, at first, when I first started getting more into this again, this past late fall and winter, I would put up, 10 items at once, and then I would watch them. And then if I wasn't getting enough, if I had no watchers on it, within like an hour and a half, I would drop the price. I drop the price.
Yeah. Listen, I literally will leave things up for a year or two. I don't care.
And then it sells. It'll sell eventually.
It does sell eventually, doesn't it? And Jasper, he's the same way, I know. And another thing is that every once in a while, and it's happened to him and it's happened to me quite a bit, where inventory changes daily, right? Even if it's an older item, even if it's something obscure, even if it's something, the inventory changes daily. So all of a sudden, even if it's a high priced item, every once in a while, things will roll around and it's just your time to sell it. And it happens a lot. Things that I've had listed just every once in a while. It's like, damn. But then you look and you see were the only one or one other person that was way higher than you. I mean, it happens. That's why I always leave everything up. Just let it roll over. And I always say, I mean, seriously, how much is it for a listing? Especially if you're got a store. I mean, or if it's a virus going around, they give you 50,000 free listings. I mean, there's just no reason. That happens a lot to you, doesn't it, Jack? Well, the thing you were just talking about, that was listed for a long time, right?
I believe so.
It happens.
I mean, I've sold several things. I've had up for 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden one day it sells.
Then there's this other thing that Jasper told me about is, and I don't remember what you call it, but when you see something that you've had around forever, and then all of a sudden, you just run across it or see it. And then like the next day or within a couple hours, it sells.
Yeah.
And I never even knew about it. I never even heard about it. He said something to me. It's happened to me like 5 times now in the last few years where I'll have sold something old or something. And I come across it. I'm like, damn, I can't believe that I didn't sell that. And then boom.
Sales.
Yeah. It's weird. It happens. It really does.
All the time.
It really does. And one other quick thing about, keeping things listed and the old stock. Listen, there's a lot of people that are completely on the other end of that. A lot like my mom and dad, a lot like you, Knox, worried about that. There are people that a lot of people, by the way, we certainly aren't the norm, just flying, letting it sit, if you will.
Right.
And Jasper knows from some of these groups that we follow and keep an eye on, these people are insane about it. Like they will go back in days after it not selling. They will change pictures. They will take new pictures. They will put different angles. They will change the description, the title. They will change everything that they can to try and get that sale. To me, the time that you take, and to each his own, and that's fine. And if that works for you, then great. To me though, I'd rather be banging out new listings. If it doesn't sell, it will sometimes. That's how I am about that. But, hi. She got a new car. I haven't even seen it yet.
Got a new car?
Yeah. How's your virus?
Wow.
You giving the virus to our cats now? Yeah. Cool.
I really do hope that you don't get sick.
Oh, I'll be dead if I get it.
I'm telling you. I mean, she could carry it and have no symptoms at all.
Well, I mean,
and then
seriously, the Myrtle Beach is the worst freaking place you want to be. And I'm sure she didn't wear a mask all the time.
Yeah, I wore it the whole time.
Sure you did.
Well, the whole time.
I can't wait to see your new car.
I miss my kitty. What kind of a car did she get?
Couldn't even tell you. She looked at like 4 different ones, had like 4 of them basically where she's ready to sign and then came across a really good deal.
Did you co-sign?
No, she got it all on her own.
All right.
I co-signed for shit. Yeah, she got it on her own. We put a lot in her name when we moved up here. to build that credit, and she did. She's done very good. So anyways, where were we? We were just talking about one thing I got to say about the show that's awesome is there's no reason to prepare. There's a million things to talk about in show.
Oh, we could go for
yeah.
So one thing that I found that was interesting, and speaking of things that were listed for a long period of time, I'm going to share this real quick. So these are snow blades. Can you see them?
Yeah, those things are cool. So they're shorter than normal skis. Just
right. They were designed for that. These were like the roller blades of skis.
Yeah.
And I got these at a thrift shop, at a Catholic Charities thrift shop out in the junk garage. They were actually in a bag and were in decent shape. Now, when I picked these up and I immediately checked completed listings, a pair had sold for $300 that day of this exact same pair. I paid $7 for these.
Smart with the tape measure, by the way.
Yeah, so they can do, so they can see it right there. When I say it's 39 inches, I mean it. It's right there. Well, they can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Or actually, there it is. So,
have you ever?
But these were
those,
listed,
by the way. Anything like that? I couldn't imagine.
No, I don't. That's I snowboard. I don't mess with that.
Yeah,
but these were listed. These were put up on March 14th, right before the pandemic started, and it just sold over the weekend in Colorado. Now, here's the interesting correlation about that, because also in the last 48 hours, I sold this to a guy in Colorado. This is a Burton Bridge snow skate, and it had a snowboard on the bottom of it, as you can see, in relatively good shape, good paint on there. And this was up since the 25th of February, and it just sold this week.
Well, they should be getting some snow here soon, anyways.
Well, it's funny that they're both Colorado. They're one of them was a ski shop.
Oh,
the one for the skis, that was a ski shop. So I have a feeling that this would be, if this trend continues, my mind says that July's a good time to sell some skis in the Northeast to people out in the Midwest.
I've always said that. I don't. Jasper, do you wait on stuff like if you get a bunch of winter stuff? Do you really stick that? I mean, even if it's a good seller, for the proper time, or just throw it up anyways?
No, I just throw it up. I've sold Christmas stuff in, March and April before.
Well, you know how much Halloween stuff I've sold throughout the year. I always tell you. I mean, it's a craziest thing.
I sold that mirror today, the Bloody Mary mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sold today. It's Halloween item.
Nick, it says, do you all see a loss on eBay versus everyone selling on Marketplace? I mean, I wouldn't really think so, but also, I mean, I would imagine that it takes a big cut out of for eBay. Now, I don't know if it really hurts us. I mean, it's the smarter option. You're not paying anything. You're not paying any listing fees or anything now.
But you're also not going to command a higher price for the item like you would, at least for the stuff that I sell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that goes
without maximize.
Listen, you can take 100 items, right, that are worth $500 on eBay that will sell overnight and take them to a flea market and try to get $20 out of them. Most of the time, nobody cares. That's the way it is. I mean, there are always going to be things because of how broad of an audience it is. However, we have noticed, and I've always been very hesitant about it, but I didn't really realize this Facebook Marketplace stuff is all brand new to me. And we really started digging real deep into it, once this had all started and happened, and starting to learn a lot more about like porch pickups, because there's always been that line of $40, basically. It's like, it's not worth dealing with if it's less than that, basically. And I've always kind of lived by that, but on eBay, I don't care anymore. But now with porch pickup, if you have a $20 item and you throw it out on your porch and they come pick it up, throw the money under the mat, I mean, that's fine. And the other thing is that has been happening a lot, are people wanting things shipped. We shipped out a couple of Magic Chef ice makers that we had listed locally on Facebook Marketplace and had no problem with that. Emily found a, where is that? This is a great edition, by the way. Give me a second. Ah, crap. I don't know where it is. We got a... Emily found this on Facebook Marketplace and had it shipped from Virginia. It's a Jemmy air-blown inflatable, a NASCAR pit crew and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth quite a bit, but of course, that's for because I love putting them out in the lawn.
You pretty much have one of those TV show style lawns out there.
Yeah, right. So shipping on Facebook Marketplace is a thing now. And I guess if you do it through PayPal up until not long ago, I'm still a little wishy-washy on some of the things that they've changed as far as coverage or if you're covered on things. But yeah, so I mean, Facebook Marketplace now you can ship. So I mean, there is that, but that's a pretty big risk because you don't really have eBay behind you. You know what I mean? I still don't think you have I think this sounds stupid, but I still feel as if you put it on eBay, you have a bigger audience. I still feel that way.
You have a much bigger audience. It's a worldwide audience.
I mean, Facebook.
Even though I don't ship international, but you do have a world stage.
But as Jasper will tell you, it's really easy. I used to have so many problems with just Canada alone. People don't understand that if you ship it out within 2 minutes of them purchasing it, they're still going to come at you when something is sitting in customs for a month. I mean, it still, is that any quicker? Has that changed any with the
it's only going slow, right? It's even slower right now because of COVID.
Well, I'd imagine right now, but let's pretend that there's not a virus going on. Jasper, have you had do you still get a lot of international people that just come back and be like, where's my thing? And it's sitting in customs. Is that still a thing?
I've actually never had that issue. I've very rarely had any issue with anything overseas. And I've shipped like motorcycle seats to Italy. And, I think that got lost, but eventually showed up. I never had an issue.
Oh, God. That's Mikey. I forgot that Mikey for quite a while was very, very active on Facebook Marketplace. Got $200 for
his buddy let him sell his whole house full of stuff, right? And then he suddenly became like the marketplace guru.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He learned it real quick. And here's something funny. And I don't know, when we were talking about Craigslist earlier, and I don't know if this is a thing for New York. I know in the area that I grew up, it was not. And I don't know if it is here, and it'll be interesting to see if Jasper knows. There is a site, and Mikey, if you're still on, and I think it's called like Lejeune Yard Sales or something like that. It was I'll have to see if I'm right about that, but it was better than Craigslist. Like you wouldn't get crap on Craigslist in that area, but if you put it on the Lejeune Yard Sales website, like it was the most popular thing around that area, like huge. I mean, like a staggering difference during the Craigslist days. And I wonder if that's still a thing or not. I'll have to ask, see if he knows. But did you
Craigslist seems like it's all the people that have really old crappy phones still, because they take all those old crappy phone pictures still on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Like the uploading them onto their computer so they can upload them on a Craigslist instead of from their phone.
I love it. Is there any, Jasper, have you ever heard of that? Any of the yard sale? They would put in the city name and then yard sale, I think is what it was called.
Well, like an actual website?
I think it was a website. Yeah. I don't think it wasn't, it was like before Facebook groups and stuff like that. And it just took off in that area. It was huge. And it never, I don't know if it really ever took off anywhere else, but I mean, it was to the point where you wouldn't even touch Craigslist. And that just reminds me, every time it's Craigslist, something we used to do on the show are reading the missed connections.
I know. Casual. It was under the, yeah.
That was always good. What the hell is that? Buku? What you talking about, Willis?
that maybe it was
Anyways.
answering your question.
Maybe
It
but
could have
that's
been
not
it.
the one that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the.
I guess my last small question or topic would be, what about the other selling apps, i.e., Let Go and OfferUp? Yeah. Have you had much luck with them?
I don't do anything. Hang on. Here's my answer about that. That's the yard sale website that you could do before there was anything on Facebook and be yard sales. So yeah, that was the point of it being out. Thanks. Okay, so that is what I was talking about. Jacksonville's yard sales and that. What we were just saying. She just completely interrupted me because apparently she's got to come in and show me a bobblehead that I just showed everybody.
OfferUp and Let Go.
OfferUp and Let Go. The only luck that I've had on OfferUp was we got our washer and dryer off of OfferUp, and it worked out really well. And the guy was awesome. But I have not ever put up anything on either, which is really funny because we've talked about it. You know, some of the stuff that's sat around on Marketplace. Listen, I don't mind things sitting around on eBay, but when we're talking about our little mini warehouse down there, that, you know, all of a sudden we don't have a lot of room to move. You know, when we bring in 4, 5, 6 pallets at a time, we don't have any room in there. And some of this stuff is massive and huge, you know. I mean, it's sitting in the way, so you do want to move stock. So I would imagine OfferUp and Let Go are good, but Jasper, have you sold anything on there? Ever try to? Is it even popular in the area that you're at?
I've had stuff on Let Go when I still lived in Florence, but I never had any luck.
Yeah.
I had luck buying off of Let Go. Once again, buying to resell. There weren't a whole lot of folks that knew what they were listing up. So, I mean, they can be miserable, Nick, for sure. Yeah.
I agree.
But in West Virginia was where I had the most luck. And then also, that's where I bought my rug from Let Go. Got an Oriental rug.
I got rid of Let Go. I still have OfferUp on the phone. Every once in a while, I'll look at it. But the thing that I don't like, listen, I understand you got to have advertising. I get that. But they're very good at the second that I look at a microwave, every other listing on the scroll is a microwave. The second that I look at a lawnmower, every single other one is a lawnmower, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, the AI is a little bit too strong.
Yeah, like you were talking, you and I were talking on the phone, Knox, about how good, actually had something good to say about Facebook, is how their algorithm works as far as your interests. And I find that to be very good, just like you said, as far as what they offer you within the marketplace.
But it's not overpowering because you can still get other things in the same feed.
Yeah, I actually like the way that they do their advertising. It's not completely, it's broken up between the different sections more, to where when you're on OfferUp, it's when you're scrolling, it's like every other freaking one. You got to make sure that it's not an advertisement, and that's really annoying. I don't know. I've just never had a reason to jump on there, but we did talk about OfferUp every once in a while to put a few things here and there because I know people use it. But
it seems like OfferUp is the less ghetto version. It's like Let Go is like the OK Cupid.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Plenty of Fish.
The OfferUp is more eHarmony.
yeah, that's a good way of putting it. All right, you know what? I'd love to sit here and chat and continue on, but we've got another thing coming up in about 2 hours. Then I got to go get some work done since she's home. I got a whole Home Depot pallet that we picked up the other day that ended up being a whole bunch of fans. You guys familiar with Arctic Air at all? Those little you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I really dismissed them, never really thought much about them. And we got a crap load of them when we first started doing Marketplace. And I said to Emily, I mean, they retail for like $30 or $40. I said, you might as well put two together and just see. We sell the crap out of them, which I'm really surprised about, reason why we get so many of them that are brand new or just really, really slightly used is because let's be honest, most people are idiots and think it's a freaking air conditioner.
Oh, it's just a fan.
Yeah, it is. That's all it is. And they don't understand that. They think that they're buying an air conditioner for $40.
It's the problem is that the packaging is misleading. The item is misleading. It says cool. There's a cool setting on the fan settings, which makes absolutely no sense. I don't understand.
Listen, it's an as seen on TV item. They're going to be a little bit, weird about it, or a little bit misleading, I should say. But I will say this: they kind of work. I mean, it's a fan behind a wet filter, basically, and you're going to get his cooling sensation. It's going to be slightly cooler, but not by a whole lot. Not like these people think. But anyways, they got tower fans now. Have you seen those? They are brand new to the market this year, and they're $100 a pop. But they're a tower fan, an Arctic Air tower fan. And they sell.
You be getting those too?
So, I got some, yeah. For some reason, the only place I've seen them in is these Home Depots that we buy, which are supposed to be appliances that come with. That's where we get all our Dyson vacuums out of. There, I said it. There, you want a little hint? Go buy that. And then you'll be sitting on like 10 or 11 Dyson vacuums like we are right now, because we have them priced nicely because they are expensive. But anyway, so we got to go work on that before we got the other show at 8:30. So yeah, that's about it. But I could sit here probably for another 4 hours and just continue talking.
We'll have a more uniform.
I like the next episode. It's fine. Go right back to it, and
I'll at least get some more things ready to go as far as what I'll show you.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I'm sure there's Jasper's always got. Hell, this Toyota sewing machine. It was so weird. I mean, but it makes sense.
Actually,
I mean, do you have it there? Yeah, check this thing out. Look at that.
Oh wow!
I didn't know it was in a box.
The mini.
Yeah, in the box.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
$7.50.
That's a deal.
Yeah.
That's a deal. We just
what's your projected sale on that?
Probably about $60 plus shipping.
That's pretty good.
Hell yeah! Did you get it from one of those bins? Did you go into a bin sale for the pay $1 for every item or $5 for every item? The FBA return stores or whatever.
No, this right here is like from the 70s or 80s. This come from a little small thrift store.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty.
The
neat.
box looked way newer than that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's very nice shape. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in really good shape. He's got 1.5 bin stores around him. Well, actually, now there's another one in Darlington too.
Yeah.
Which you'll have to go check out at some point. And then there's that other one that's not too far from there, if I'm not mistaken, too, that we've looked at, that basically has dirt floors. You know what I'm talking.
Yeah,
Anyways, all right. Well, this has been fun. It's been all over the place. We covered a lot of topics. Yeah.
Someone clapping?
No.
Was that sound like someone was clapping?
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe somebody's clapping their ass cheeks or something. I don't know. Is somebody in anybody's houses doing what do you call that with your ass when you do that?
Twerking?
That's what it's.
Oh, ass clapping.
Ass clapping. Clapping that ass.
Twerk air.
Clapping that ass. Anyways, well,
right.
It has been fun. Jasper, thank you for joining us. Hopefully we can figure out with your crazy ass schedule.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's been fun. 8:30 tonight, right here. We're gonna have a really cool interview. So that's about it. We cover everything, Knox. Yeah,
I think so. See you at 8:30.
Says, rest up. I would love to take a nap, my real nap right now, but that's all right. We'll keep going.
I gotta go eat something.
Yeah, go get that grilled chicken ready, buddy.
2 pounds of grilled chicken with my name on it, dude.
See everybody.